Hey, what's going on, guys? So it's been quite some time since I've made a video for my channel, and if you're just coming here, then you'll know that when I first started my YouTube and podcasting and all of that, I still owned my own trucking company, and which was called Iron Wolf Trucking. Since then, things got really difficult, so I stopped making videos and recording. And started focusing on the business and trying to save it, and unfortunately ending up in the position where financially my decision was to close my business down or go borrow money and float my business through the hard time. And this was, of course, right at the end of 2021 going into 2022, when a lot of the government mandates around COVID took effect. And since most of my customer freight that I was hauling was coming out of the ports, and as you remember, we were backed up bad, and every time I went to Houston, you'd see out in the harbor just more and more ships just sitting out there waiting to be able to go in and get unloaded. And shortly towards the end of October, Halloween period, I just was like, I either borrow the money and hope that what I get is enough to float my expenses, for 12 months, and hope that, in 12 months things go kind of back to normal, because my rates were ridiculously low. They went from, a $2,000 load to, 14 as an average, 1,400 for, going 500 miles or more. And it just didn't make sense, because when you factor into dieseling, you're spending nearly half of your load amount on diesel. And because of the rising cost of diesel and the rising cost of the insurance that happened that year as well, and the rising cost of your permits and registration, towards the middle of that year, I was breaking even. I was bringing in enough money to cover operations costs, and because of the several repairs I had to do to my truck, and switching my insurance policies and everything to accommodate the new rules, it depleted my savings. So I literally was just like, if I ever had a bad week, that was going to be it. The business was closed, because I wasn't going to have enough money for the following week or the following month. It was literally just, it was like that towards the end. And I didn't want to put myself into debt with the income stream like that, because I was afraid that I might not even make enough money to make the payment on whatever loan I took out for the business, and then end up being bankrupt. And at that point, I really had almost whittled down all of my personal debt, and it was incredibly disappointing to have to close my business. I worked so hard to get it started, and was so proud, which you see in the videos. But over time, I became really depressed and really disappointed in the situation that I found myself in, dealing with issues that I didn't create for myself through bad management, but were kind of forced on me because of the economic situation and decisions being made on my behalf by a government that I didn't approve of. The backups in the ports were a direct result of them forcing COVID vaccination and giving people the ultimatum to either do it or lose their job. And a lot of people just quit and walked out, and you went from seeing 30, 40 different cranes and unloaders working in a warehouse to one, and lines of trucks that go all the way out of the port gate, and spending 5 hours waiting to be loaded, and over an hour to get loaded, because you've got one motherfucker trying to do it. And it was terrible. I took a job as a technician at a factory for a little bit, about a year and a half, and some rather dangerous, not so good situations happened there that led me to leave and spend about 4 months unemployed and floated myself through that. At the same time, we had just bought a house because the factory was actually paying me really well, and so we took a chance and we bought a house, and the remodel process turned into an endless nightmare. It's still not finished, and we're still not living in it. And after losing my job, I was like, there's really only one place that I can go where I can make enough money to finish the house and get on top of our bills, and that's back on the road as an over-the-road trucker. We're right ahead of winter, which is, of course, not ideal time, horrible money-making thing, and I'm just sitting here like, I really hope this works out all right for me. So far, it's been okay. I'll say that. It's been okay. But we are still struggling. I just see a lot of negativity out there with everything going on internationally and nationally. And I'm not really one to ever just like, especially very quickly, but I've been working for Nova Lines now for 2 months, and I would say that they've done a really good job of taking care of things for me, and it's been mostly stress-free, not without its issues, not from the company, but just because the way that they pay you get more, obviously, the less you spend on things like tolls and diesel, but diesel's just been so high because it always goes up during the holidays, and tolls are unavoidable on the East Coast, which is where I've been doing a lot of my running, and going through like DC and Maryland and Baltimore, which is a nightmare, and trying to take the conventional road, the old highways through like the Appalachia, as opposed to like the toll road that goes through Pennsylvania. It doesn't make sense to try and do that. I took that road one time and was just like, man, how the hell did Grandpa drive this road, in a semi? It's terrible. But yeah, so now I just deal with the tolls. But it's nice because everything's covered up front, and then they take it out of your settlement at the end of the week, and so you get paid every week. But I'll be real with you, like it's up and down. Like, I've had weeks where I made $1,400, and I've had weeks where I made $200, almost $300. But then it goes back up. Like, I already know that next paycheck will be well over that $1,400. That's kind of been my max so far. But then last week it was like $312. So it's really up and down. And so that's why you gotta like hold on to your money and spend and not spend it all, and also take care of your truck. I had the option to get into a shorter lease program and go with one of their older trucks, but having had so many bad experiences with trucks, I felt like going with one of the brand new ones that has the warranty and all of the stuff like that, and that hadn't been touched by anybody else, was my best bet, because I knew that I couldn't afford downtime. I couldn't, just because of why I came over to this company, I wanted to have the best option possible, and that was going with the brand new truck and a 5-year lease program, which is for the truck and the trailer. But I have a 2024 Cascadia. I've got the double sleeper, which you can see behind me, and it is governed at 65, but it is overall a really great truck. I mean, I literally got it and had to peel the plastic off of stuff. I mean, it was brand new, and I mean, it's got a lot of extra stuff. I've got the fridge, I've got air ride seats, I've got the curtains for the front windshield, and I've also got the curtains that act as the divider between the cab and the sleeper. On the back, it came with a headache rack that actually has a lockbox in it so that you can lock stuff up in it. The trailer itself also has a lock on it. It's aluminum trailer, which I'm not a super big fan of because they're expensive to repair if they get fucked up by a shipper. But because of that, it's lighter, and that means I can kind of do some bigger loads. And so I've done some oversize, which was a lot of fun. They take care of all the permits for you and give you the route and everything. So all the headache that I had to deal with before trying to do that kind of stuff for my own business, nightmare, absolute nightmare. So like they negotiate a good price for the load to put more money in your pocket, even though you've got to pay for the permits and you've got to pay for the escort. So pretty good deal. And like I said, I just really don't have to worry about nothing. When they send me an email saying, hey, it's time for an oil change, I have them set up somebody to come do the oil change, or me to go take it to a shop and get it done. They have a deal with the service for the truck stops, Pilot Flying J and Loves. So if you take it to one of their places for tires or for maintenance or an inspection or whatever, they get a really good price on all that. So it costs you less if you do it there than some other place. So it's a great program. The other thing is you get 40 cents off of every gallon that you purchase at a Love's or a Pilot Flying J. Their fuel card does work at other places, but you're limited to like 45 gallons. But unlimited to how much you can purchase at the Love's Flying J or whatever. So you've got that benefit, and so that helps to make the diesel price cheaper, because the most that I ever got with my own business was like 10 to 15 cents. And in order to get that, I had to walk around with a big wad of cash and pay cash for diesel in order to get the 10-15 cent cheaper diesel, or rack up a shitload of points with Love's, which with my last truck I did rack up quite a bit in fucking tires and repairs and other shit, roadside assistance, because it kept fucking breaking down on me. But I mean, like, I got my 34-hour reset, and you get a lovely new tablet which you stick onto your dashboard here, and it runs Samsara, and tracks everything for you as far as what you have left. You do your vehicle inspections on here as well with Vector, which is also an app you can put on your phone, which I find a little bit easier, because then I can just take my phone out with me when I go and do my walk around. It's also what you use to take pictures of your loads before you haul. Safety. I have heard truckers that work for Novaline bitch about having to do that, and I'm sorry, because I know they're going to see this, but you're a lazy piece of shit, because the photos are meant to save your ass in the event that you arrive at a delivery and they say you fucked up the load, but you have pictures from when you had the load in the yard where you were loading, okay, and the damage is on there. Right now, obviously you have the right to refuse that load because it's damaged, but I mean, like, you go to some of these pipe yards and like the shit's, you got to tarp it and everything, and it's been sitting out in the fucking rain, and it's like got rust on it and dents and shit from them running into it with their machines. And sometimes the person that purchased it, I don't know if they really realize the condition of the yard they're ordering from, but you show up with that stuff and they want to harass you, right? And so you just call your dispatcher and get their manager on, and the manager deals with the customer. You just like, I ain't fucking talking to you. Well, you don't even say that, just, I ain't talking to you, let me call my dispatcher. They're going to call you, and you can talk to them like this and see how that goes for you. But in the meantime, get this load off my truck because you bought it. So now you get it off the truck, and I'm going to leave, and then you can call the people you purchased it from, and maybe they can hire me to take it back. But I'm not going to let you leave that on my truck and refuse it, because that is yours. That's what you bought, you know? So get it off my truck. But if I really want to be ridiculous about it, you show them the fucking pictures, and they can't say anything. They can't do anything. They can't have Nova Lines take money from you for a load that they paid you for already, because the customer doesn't want to, because you can show that that's what you got. You delivered what you were given. It didn't get messed up in transit. So do the fucking pictures and quit being lazy and quit. And then the pre-trips. Even a brand new truck can fuck up. Okay? You choose not to do your pre-trip, or say you did your pre-trip, and the moment you pull out of the truck yard and you get out of the truck stop or wherever you're stopped, and you get up to speed, and all of a sudden your motor fucking blows. Because while you sat for 10 hours overnight, all the oil leaked out of your motor because you might not have known it, but something ran across or came underneath your truck during the night while you were driving and nicked your shit. And because you didn't get out and actually do a thorough look, pop the hood open and look at it, you are now stuck right off the ramp with a blown motor that you are 100% responsible for because you didn't do the pre-check. The biggest complaints that you see on the reviews for Nova Lines are from people that aren't real truckers. Like, they could have 15 years in, but they have worked for some absolute garbage company that allowed them to behave however they wanted to behave, drive the truck into the ground, because it wasn't their truck, it was the company truck, and the company was just going to replace it over time, right? You know, like, fuck it. And they're used to doing shady shit with the logbooks and with whatever, and so having to actually follow the rules is such a major inconvenience. They're being micromanaged, and it's all bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, but they weren't real truckers. Okay, now I have met a couple of people that actually still work for the company that have had some really shitty situations happen to them, but it wasn't because fucking Nova Lines is shitty. It's just that circumstances happened in a way that they ended up kind of getting the tail end of it. But Nova Lines, they stayed because Nova Lines, once the right people kind of became aware of the situation, they unfucked it, or at least were in the actions of unfucking the situation, helping the driver out, and getting them back on top where they're not in the negative, and they're not struggling to make it, and they're not wasting their time, and they're not angry and irritated. And Nova Lines wants to succeed. They want to be the top of the line trucking company out there, you know, which is, I think, great, because they really focus on quality. I see a lot of people come in for the orientation, and not everybody takes a truck. Not everybody gets to really be on, and that's because they can't meet all the requirements. You know, like, there's a lot of stuff you've got to try and take care of before you get here, and a lot of guys won't, and they show up here and they start doing the orientation, and if you don't have your shit squared away by the time the orientation happens, you're not getting a truck. You came up here for no reason. You wasted your time. You wasted their time. So, you know, but I mean, like, they've got a car up here in the deal that the drivers can borrow to, like, if I park at HQ, I can take it and go to Walmart or go see a movie or something, you know, to get out of the truck. You know, the headquarters always has parking, always, and this is Chicago, so finding parking anywhere near here is ridiculous. And Illinois is a fucking terrible state. Their government needs to pull their heads out of their asses. I have never seen so much anti-trucking fucking architecture in a city before. The off-ramps are garbage. All of the streets, even ones with big businesses that require big trucks to be able to get to them, they've got fucking medians that block their entrance. And then you can't do a U-turn at the intersection like a normal fucking car. No, you've got to go 5 blocks down the way, turn down a street, turn down another street, and all while you're doing that, better hope that one of those streets doesn't have a fucking no truck sign, because the cops around here know that truckers are looking for a spot to turn around, and they're sitting there and they're waiting for you to make the mistake of turning down a no trucking street. And I will also tell you this, you're going to piss a lot of people off in Chicago, but I'm going to tell you the ticket's not worth it. You're going to come down some streets that didn't say no trucking, but when you get to the intersection, it'll say left, right, and forward are no trucking roads. What are you supposed to do? It's not big enough for you to turn around. You're going to piss everybody off, but back your fucking truck up down the street. Back it up. I don't care if you got to get out of your fucking truck and point at everybody in the intersection and fucking yell at them to get out of the way. Hey, get out of the way. Hey, you know what? You stay right there and block this so I can back up. You know, they either will or they won't. They could flip you off. They could say fuck you, but at the same time, you got to get out of there. Nobody and their shitty attitude is worth the fucking ticket. Nobody. The cops are not going to give you an inch. Don't deal with it. Chicago is terrible. Illinois is fucking terrible. Out in the country, in the rural areas, all of their on and off ramps and say no parking. And if you stop there because you can't find parking in a rest area, which are all very small, or a truck stop, which is also mostly very small, don't have nearly as many parking spots as they do, like say Southwest or Southern United States. Even though they're out in the middle of nowhere, it's like they're intentionally small, and it's ridiculous to find parking, but it's so anti-trucking anywhere up here. So just be ready to, if you can, either park at HQ or just drive straight fucking through. Just drive through. Don't stop. Just go all the way through. Plan your trip so you don't fucking stop in Illinois at all. And Idaho's another one. Just fucking go through Idaho. But you're gonna do long hauls. You need to make sure, if you want to make money, that you say you're willing to do pretty much anything. Oversized loads, coils, and tarp loads are the ones that pay the most. And it sucks to have to tarp all the time, but to make things easier, I went out and I purchased 2 6-foot tarps, because they give you 2 8-foot tarps, and the weight difference and the amount of time that it takes to roll up and roll out a fucking 6-foot as opposed to an 8-foot is so big. And most of the loads that you end up getting are only going to require a 4 or a 6 at max. So I went and I bought the 6s, and a whole bunch of extra bungees, because I give you a couple boxes, but bungees are cheap and they break like crazy. So I went and got extras. But I've got 6-foot drop tarps, and they're fucking great. So if you're gonna come over here, just know they give you 8s, get the 6s. Go out, buy the fucking 6s, or have them get you the 6s, like I had them do for me. I got the 2 6-foot drop tarps. The other thing that I would recommend that you do if you come over here is, before you even set out, if you get through the orientation and you get your truck, open all the boxes of everything they give you and verify not only that it's there, but that it's in good condition. The other thing that you want to get as soon as you get to a truck stop is get some oil of some kind. And all of your chains and binders and shit, right? Well, your binders or chains, take those and put oil, because you're going to be driving through shitty weather and construction sites and all kinds of stuff. You don't want those getting stuck, and then being the one time you need it, you know, because I've had to use them twice in 2 months, but the one time you use it, it's stiff. The ones I got were not brand new, they were used. The company had them, probably pulled them off another truck, but clearly the guy who had them before me did not take care of his equipment properly because they were really rusty, and I had to like beat the shit out of these things and hammer on them, and then I've covered them in oil and they still kind of stick. But yeah, oil your shackles so that way they work like they're supposed to. And get a set of 6-foot tarps, and also buy yourself an extra box of straps for your trailer, so that way you are 100% well equipped for everything that you need. Duct tape and zip ties as well. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that. I don't care if it's a 90s truck or a 2024 Cascadia. At some point, plastic shit is going to start wobbling a lot, shaking, and falling off. And to kind of save your truck, so to speak, keep some zip ties and duct tape around. The other cool thing that I like, to make it easier, is that they do truck back things. So when you go to Love's and stuff like that, every Friday, take the envelope, drop off all of your BOLs. But because you use the Vector app and you take pictures of your BOLs, they pay you already. So Friday, you get paid for all of the BOLs you gave them from up to Friday the following week. And the trip packs you don't pay for. They already have their own envelopes with the deal, so you just drop it in. The other thing that you need to know is you are not guaranteed to make the $3,000 and the $7,000 plus a week that their adverts say. I have averaged a little over $1,000 for most of my paychecks, and then, like I said, I have gotten a $312 paycheck, and I have gotten a $900 something paycheck. And of course, my first paycheck, because it was only for one delivery for one, because orientation stopped on Wednesday, but I didn't get to leave or get my load until Friday, so I actually only had the one load to get paid for, and it was cheap as fuck. So I only got like $400 and something. Might have actually been $6 or $7 because I had a cash advance off of it. That's the other thing, is you can do up to $150 cash advance. I believe it's per load. So like if you do 3 loads, you can do $350 cash advances. If you do 4, it's 4. But you don't want to do that too much, because you got to be smart with your money. Even if you are making a shitload of money, you got to be smart with your money. Because if you're making good money now, there's going to be a month or a week or whatever where you're not going to make shit, or your truck goes down, or it's time to do a serious major maintenance thing to your vehicle, and you don't want to tap out of your emergency fund, so you just pay it out of your own fund. Or you want to buy stuff for your truck. My truck is a little bit messy right now because I just got done doing 1,500 miles, but I've got my clean laundry here. I've got to fold it up and put it away. But that's another thing. You want to get a laundry bag as well. And I've still got some boxes of food to put away. But I've got this fridge. Steel-toed army boots from back when I was in. Pair of tennis shoes. Comes in real handy. Get your own towel, because here at the HQ they don't have towels for you. I have a crock pot. Sandwich stuff. These things, I actually like them a lot. They're pretty good and easy to make. Just need a little thing of water. Napkins. My coffee mix. Microwave. I bought the cheap small one. And my coffee pot. Blue Parrot headset. You want this. This is like waterproof. It is worth the 200 something that you pay for it. As you notice, I also do the mac and cheese ones. granolas. I could do a whole video just on food that I eat on this truck to keep myself from being stupid fat, which is kind of something I dealt with the last time I was trucking. But, you know, things like popcorn or whatever and granola bars that are alright. Got my, you know, Dragon Ball Z slippers for when I'm chilling out and don't want to wear shoes. But yeah, so pantry, goods, stuff, more sandwich stuff. Yes, that was a towel in my refrigerator. I like to keep a towel in there, keep it cool, and then on those days when it's fucking hot, but I don't want to crank the AC up because that kind of can mess with your sinuses and your throat and stuff. It's like, it's not good to go from super hot to super cold. So I keep a towel in there, you know, just put that on the back of my neck, you know. Calm down. A little trick I learned in the Army. But yeah, so, and they give you, you know, your truck folder that has all your stuff and your numbers on it. And then I got all my, because, you know, I'm Italian and I gotta have pasta, which I make with the crock pot, and, you know, cereal, whatever. It's all good. And like I said, I've done my laundry, so normally I keep shorts and t-shirts in this side. Socks, underwear, pants on this one. That's just my art supplies and extra stuff in there. But one of the cool things that I like about this is the table. Yeah, the prep table. That's pretty cool, right? And in here, all of my, you know, my greasy Italian hair gel and ibuprofen for those days when you get a headache from staring at the road. Yeah, and 2 beds. Windows on both sides. Got this cool little deal so I can control all the lights and temperature and everything from the cab, or from the sleeper. And yeah, pretty good setup. Like I said, it's a 2024 Cascadia. I got the double bunks instead of the one with the sleeper, or the bunk up here, the one that kind of comes apart, turns into 2 seats and a table. There is a guy who has one of those. I did not get that truck. I got this one. A little bit jealous because I would have liked a table, but I'm also, you know, 30-year-old veteran with bad knees and a back, so jumping up in the bed that I would keep assembled all the time is not 100% ideal for me. But I am enjoying it here. I do wish the money was more. I wish it was actually like more like what their ads are for. And that's kind of like the big thing. The biggest complaint I have is they're overzealous about the ads. And I kind of knew that already just because I've been doing this for 13 years now. I've been trucking because I started in the Army. Yes, I do fucking count that. Okay, I know it wasn't civilian CDL driving, but I had a CDL and I drove a fucking truck for the Army. Okay, so what if it had a gun on it? You know, so what if, you know, I spent some of the time in the turret, you know, sending shit down range? Like, fuck it, you know, like, I was still in a truck. It still counts. It counts. But I've been doing this for 13 years, and 2 other companies I worked for aside from my own, and of experience with working for a company, this is the best one. This is the best fucking situation I've ever found myself in, working for another company that was not one I was running. And it's honestly being run the way I wish my company could have gotten big enough so that I could run it. Like the way they've got their headquarters, the way they get the experienced drivers and they get them brand new trucks, and the way that they've got the fuel card and everything, and the insurance and all that. Like, I think it breaks down to like $600 a month for my insurance on my truck and trailer, which is ridiculous because for me, as an individual owner-operator running the lower 48, I was spending $2,100 a month in insurance. Okay, so for one truck. So being able to come over here and only spend like fucking barely $700, like $600 on insurance per month was huge for me. And I've averaged about $1,400 to $1,500 in diesel a week, which is about what I was paying when I first started my first company, trucking, back in 2017. And that was what I was averaging. And then obviously COVID-19 numbers were so high, so ridiculous, that it was more like 2,000 and then, like I said, the rates were coming down and fuel costs and insurance costs were going up, where they were now, my income was matching my spending, and left me with nothing to enjoy for profit or even send home to pay bills, because I was just covering operational costs. But yeah, Nova Lines, 100% vouch for them. I've had nothing but a good experience. I've had a great dispatcher, which I've heard guys complain about their dispatchers or demand to have them switched up, and I don't know, I just haven't had that experience. And I've worked with 2 other dispatchers where when mine was like sick or had a day off, and I had 2 other dispatchers take over for the day, and they were great, and maybe it's the accent, but I spent time in the Army and did joint ops stuff with other nations, and so I'm kind of accustomed to hearing people with a different accent than me that speak English not so well. Plus I was married to like a foreigner. I won't specify which country she came from, but she was not very good with English, and ever, even after being married to me for like 6 years, she just never got better at it. I had to actually learn her language and help her to translate shit that was said to her by other people around me. So I've just kind of been really accustomed to like adjusting to people who speak differently to me, and their headquarters where their dispatchers are is in Moldova. I'll have to look that one up. Hopefully I'm not fucking that up bad, but Moldova, I think, is what it is, which is over by like Ukraine and Poland. I'm pretty sure it used to be part of the Soviet Union. I'm not 100% sure, but they're in that area, so they speak like that, English like that, and the guys have the really deep accents, but the ladies, I've noticed, speak the English a little bit better. But their maintenance department's also on point. Their shop is just generally for setting up their trucks whenever they're getting them, and they check them over. They like to have you take their trucks to actual maintenance shops or to the Love's maintenance shops for your general checkups, DOT inspections, etc. They don't like you doing a whole lot of stuff yourself, because then it kind of takes away the whole liability thing. In case you fuck up, then you actually are responsible for the truck. So don't think you get to come here and change your own brake pads, because that's probably never going to happen. But general maintenance stuff that you need to do, like stuff you could do on the side of the road, change your air hoses when one of them starts fucking leaking or something and you can tell you need to switch it out, or go get a different fire extinguisher because the little indicator on yours is finally crud, greasing your joints or something because you started to notice your suspension is squeaking a little bit too much, but major stuff, you ain't doing that yourself. No, they'll tell you where to go and what to do with your truck and when to do it. And they'll give you like 45 days to get it done. I've never let it go past 45 days, so I don't know what happens if you don't. If you like get forced to park and bring the truck back, or what, or you just get a pay penalty or something. I can find that out, do another video on it in the future, but for now I just wanted to give an update and get a new video put up on here of the truth about Nova Lines and my experience with it and my complaints and my praises, because like I said, I got more nice things to say about this than negative things, and which is really just the one, which is that, you know, change that ad so it's not so much, because, you know, $3,000 a week during the slowest time of the year, it's not really something you can guarantee. Come here with the attitude that you are able to make at least $1,000 a week after you cover all your expenses, and that number can go up if you're really good with where you buy your diesel and not using toll roads, and run your hours, man. Like, don't fucking stop. Like, use your hours. Like, if you're not finishing your week with like 6 hours left on your fucking total 40, or even like 1 hour, then you're not running hard enough, and you need to spend a little more time out there on the road, because if you ain't, then you're not making any money. And then, yeah, you'll be one of those guys on the fucking YouTube or Facebook group talking about how broke and struggling they are. You know, run your hours legally, but run your hours, and here you're gonna succeed. And in 5 years I will own this truck. Shoot, before then I'll own this truck, because they let you buy it out early after so many months, and I like that a lot. So hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, so that way when I post other videos, like for my food prep and fitness, for how I'm working out in this truck and also outside of this truck, using some of the things that are on this truck for trucking, but I use them also because they are effective tools for working out. And these are things that I want to talk about, as much as showing my experience with trucking at Nova Lines. Also, this will probably be the longest video that I make. Most of my others are probably going to be around 20 minutes and are going to be very specific to what topic they talk about, instead of everything all at once. So, like I said, like, subscribe, and stay safe, guys, especially out there in the winter.